I learned everything I know by listening to other individuals. If they're homesteading next door to me, if they're farming on 100 acres across the state from me, whatever the case is, my education process never stops. I am humble enough to accept anything that anybody wants to share with me. It may not fit my homestead, but I will hear it because I file it in a little filing cabinet, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna go, holy smokes. I remember this person told me to do this, so I'm gonna try it because I tried everything else and it didn't work, okay? So let's get started because, like I said, this is gonna be your flash trip into creating more money. And I know that at the end of the day, my goal is that Justin homesteads with me full time, and we're almost there. And the only reason why we're almost there is not from our farm, but because he's a carpenter in a union, and he can retire at 55 because he's been doing it since he was 18 years old. So at 55, he will be home full time with me with 100% carpentry union pension, okay? But then on top of that, we still have expenses. I lie, we have zero expenses, and I'm gonna tell you why, okay? So this topic right here is creating a profitable homestead regardless of your property size. So we went ahead, and you guys, I already told you who I'm at. My farm is Acorn Creek Farmstead. We farm here in Tennessee in Waynesboro, which is an hour from here, okay? We're on 42 acres, about 18 acres of pasture space, a barn, and then a third acre on our west side of the property that was overtaken by weeds and bugs and all the bad things that I need to get my goats and my sheep and my milk cows up there and my beef cattle up there to take down. My property was overgrazed because they ran Angus and horses on there. I have every invasive weed on my pastures that you can imagine. So the first thing I did is I brought in sheep. From there, my sheep took care of a lot of that invasive weed, and then I put in my milk cows over it on top of that. I ran my goats along the perimeter. I don't raise pasture-raised goats. I raise goats for purposes of clearing the land. They work along my fence line, and then from there, they clean everything on my fence line, and then from there, they can go to pasture after that. They are working goats and dairy goats at the same time, okay? So where I came from was Issaquah, Washington. We started our journey in 2013. We left Washington in 2000. It is really hot in here, and I am on medicine, so I'm kind of stuttering a little bit. So 2021, we left. We were on a property that was less than 2 acres, and we were in the mountains, so we basically had a backyard. This little width right here, where I practiced succession gardening heavily, and I was able to rotate crop and still produce up to 75% of our food source and only about 25% of our meat source right then and there. We did a lot of egg sales, because in Washington State, I could sell eggs for $12 a dozen without even batting an eye. We did workshops at the local co-op. I mean, we were hired and contracted to speak at our local co-op in that moment in time. The website of Farm Grow in the Making, like I said, because I'm very honest, took off like crazy. I did a lot of freelance writing, and I started public speaking at that point in time. And then we moved to Waynesboro, Tennessee, through God's calling in about 1 year and 5 months ago, and now we're on a 42-acre farm there. So I am of faith, so I'm gonna have you take a look at this. I'm going to tell you right now, do not fear what you've been called to do. Every single one of you sit here for a very reason of being called to do something, whether it's beef cattle, pigs, egg sales, or whatever the case is. So let me just read this to you real quick, okay? Dream big. She considers a field and buys it. Out of the earnings, she plants a vineyard. I'm sure you of faith know where this passage comes from. Dream big. I've been knocked for being a woman and being a farmer and not being afraid to take the Proverbs 31 women and execute it in the life that I live, okay? So think about that. Dream big. Be creative. She is like the merchant ships bringing her foods from afar, okay? I cannot grow everything right now on my farm, so I have to think outside of the box how I can service my community going forward. Have grit. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night, okay? The best time that I work, between 3 and 5 a.m., okay? 3 and 5 a.m. I am at the point where I don't sleep a lot, but that's okay. I can handle that. Be consistent. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Okay? Managing your home managing your family, and managing your farm is all one breath, okay? It's all intertwined in what God has given you. You have to consider it like that. Persevere. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she can laugh at the days to come. I, on Monday, got hit with third-degree burns from a very freak accident of a scalding pot. I was rushed from Waynesboro to Vanderbilt to the burn center. They wanted to keep me for a couple of days. And you know me, my answer is like, oh, no, that's not going to work for me. I got to go home. My cow's going to calve. I got to finish my PowerPoints for this conference that I'm going to. So I checked myself. Well, they allowed me to check out at that point on Tuesday. Cow calved on Wednesday morning. My Angus heifer gets out. I'm on a quad flying around trying to wrangle her back up. Ginger from McMurray Hatchery has a photo of me with my 8th bandage flying in the air as I'm doing so. You know, I was told not to get into the garden, not to play in the dirt, basically stay out of the sun. Our lifestyle does not stop. You want this life and you want it that bad, you're going to work for it regardless of where you're at. So you pray. I have to stop. Don't get me wrong. I still break. But my lifestyle drives me to do the things that I need to do, not for my family, but for the people in my community. Okay? So keep that in mind. Again, if you're doing this to make a quick buck without worrying about your community, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Okay? So then the last one, be a positive presence in your community. Okay? Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gates. Okay? That doesn't mean, hey, look at me, I'm selling all this food for you, and I'm making money, and yeah, you should know who I am. It's one of those step back. Step back. Let those people really recognize your farm and who you are through the bread of goodness that you have offered them. Okay? That's the praise you seek. Not to know your name, but the ability to give them something that God has planted on your farm or your homestead to move forward with. Okay? So, next slide. We're going to start here, Acorn Creek Farmstead, because you guys are all here for this main reason. But we're going to talk about passive income elsewhere as well, too. Okay? Go ahead. Oh, wait, stop. I'm sorry. Acorn Creek Farmstead, you have to have a tagline for who you are. You have got to have a tagline. If I walk up to you, hi, I'm from Acorn Creek Farmstead. Great. Okay? What do you do, Ann? We're a teaching farm that feeds the community. Okay? That is my tagline for Acorn Creek, a teaching farm that feeds the community. You need to stop and think. It's an elevator pitch. You got less than 1 minute to tell someone what your farm is about. That's what you're going to give them. You give out a business card, that is going on your business card. When you create your website, that is going on your website. You want someone to get a quick glimpse of who you are and what your farm is about in that 30-second minute of what it is, okay? A Farm Girl in the Making has one too. We'll show you that in a minute. Go ahead. Let's start. This is what I got yesterday. If you guys did not attend Allison Bale's talk yesterday, you missed out, okay? Because she does it on a bigger ag scale than what we do, okay? So what she said, find out what problem you can solve your ideal customer. In Waynesboro, if anybody's from Waynesboro, Tennessee, understand I love you graciously, okay? In Waynesboro, Tennessee, what can I solve for my ideal customer? Get them out of Sonic. Get them out of Taco Bell. Get them out of Burger King. Get them out of shopping at Cash Savers. Okay? Get them back to where the world really received foods from. That is my ideal customer. So I would actually have you think about this before you move forward. What can it be? Can it be providing farm fresh eggs? Can it be providing chicken? Can it be real milk? Stop labeling this stuff as pet milk. Demand that every time you share something, you call it real milk. Put your foot down already. It's not pet milk. Let's be honest, okay? If anybody disagrees with me, you raise your hand. You disagree? No. Oh, okay. I was like, what did you just say? Oh, my heart. Oh, good. Okay. My heart really stopped. I was like, oh, this is a different talk we need to have. Woo. Look at me. You gave me an extra sweat gland on my thing. Okay. Okay, guys. Oh. Southern slower. Okay, that is very hard. Okay, so think about this. Remember this. How are you going to help your community? How can you do that? Okay, next slide on that one. I'm sorry you guys on this side can't see it, but I will tell you, write this down now. If you want copies of this, email Christina at A Farm Girl in the Making. Take your notes. She will send you the slides. Yeah, they're recording. Hi. Yes, it will be. There you go. Okay. All right. So the first part of my C. Where is she? Okay. So the first part of my tagline, a teaching farm. I started my whole thing about teaching. That is what God truly has called me to do. I teach. I was a Christian preschool teacher for 10 years. That's where I started. Children are in my heart. That's the way it's going to be. But I continued at that point. God had me move from teaching children to now teaching adults. So that's where I go. A Farm Girl in the Making is an international platform. We teach Australia, Europe, South Africa, and that is where we teach. However, God has called us to Tennessee to not oversee all these incredible ranchers and farmers that are here, but to bring the people that put that on the shelf and said, I grew up doing that and I don't want to do it anymore, and reaching their children. That is what God called us to Tennessee to do. So we are a teaching farm. We have hands-on workshops at the farm, private farm sales, infrastructure tours, chick days on the farm. If you did not attend our chick days on the farm, then you missed out. And that is something that you might want to continue moving forward with. Our very first event brought in 150 people. Maybe not a big deal to some, but that's 150 people who never raised chickens before that allowed their children to come to my farm and beg their moms to stay for a little bit longer and beg them to come back next year, okay? And then on top of that, we have coming soon, we have a location-based private workshops, which means that I have been asked to come to locations such as Columbia and teach private workshops at that point as well, too, because for some reason it's an hour too far for many people to come to do a workshop. And at me, I'm like, give me the longest drive possible as long as you keep me off the freeway kind of person, okay? We are actually contemplating whether or not we want to do homeschool co-op tours, but my real passion right now is working with teens. We have a very short time frame at this point in time to capture that last audience before they go to adulthood. So that is where my passion is drawing, and I'm probably going to execute this before I execute co-ops, okay? So the next slide. Okay, that feeds the community. Pasture-raised pasture-raised poultry, holiday turkeys, pasture-raised forest-raised pigs, private sales and farm shares of real milk, take note, and milk byproduct. You want to go rogue? We're going there, okay? Then on top of that, breakfast packages, pigs whole, half piece, and then will sell only feeder pigs to friends, okay? Then on top of that, we have milk and egg shares, and then coming soon, fermented goods and beverages. If you know anything about the cottage laws in Tennessee, they just opened up to fermented food and beverages without carrying anything that you need to do with that, okay? So a teaching farm that feeds the community. That encompasses everything that we do, okay? So I'm going to read this to you. I'm not a rule follower. I'm going to ask for forgiveness after I've done it, and then I will continue to do what I want to do after that, okay? So basically, I have to be upfront because you may get in trouble for some of this stuff if you choose to move forward doing it, okay? So take this with a grain of salt and do what you want to do, okay? So sell goods without government interference. Read my shirt, trust God, not government, okay? Then on top of that, I'm going to read something to you. A local food co-op, a PMA, enables a community to sell items they make or grow to each other without government interference, creating a sense of food security and self-sustainment in the community. This is the founder of the individual that created the PMA products, PMA clubs, okay? So private product organizations are food clubs, PMAs, which are private memberships associations, CSAs, community-supported agriculture, and then shares, farm, livestock, or milk. Which you choose is really up to you. What I didn't put up here, I did put up food clubs. Food clubs are a little bit harder, and I'm going to tell you why. Food club means that is a private grocery store, right? You want those customers to come in and shop your grocery store so they're not running to a Publix or a Kroger's or a Cash Shavers or a Piggly Wiggly. You want to offer them everything. There is one owner of a food club. So he can turn around and go, I'm going to buy all your leafy greens, okay? Or I'm going to buy all your eggs. I'm going to buy all your chicken and all your pork and your grass-fed beef, and then I'm going to sell it at a higher price point in this food club, which is brilliant. It is brilliant. And you've got an incredible customer base. Everything's banked on money in a reserve. So you have to put in X amount a month, and then you're buying off of your credit for that a month. So then he takes that money and can afford to go in and buy all those goods to continue the circus of flow without taking money out of his own pocket. Does that make sense? So if you can do that, it's a great way, okay? So most of us go into what we call shares, right? So it's a contract between you and the individual that says, I'm going to keep you owning this cow so you can buy milk from me, right? Which she doesn't really own. She's just owning. And then at that point, she turns around and then she can have a guarantee of 6 months to a year milk at that price on this day, and she's ensured that she's going to move forward with it. How do I feel about that? I really don't. And the reason why is because if I have to worry about any of this stuff at the end of the day, then I'm still fearful of my government. Now, this stuff makes sense because what happens is if someone comes onto my property, let's just say the commissioners, county commissioners, come onto my property and say, you're not following the guides and procedures of Wayne County, I can turn around and go, you need to get off my property because I have a no trespassing sign that specifically says county commissioner is not welcome to come on with a search warrant and search warrant only, right? He can subpoena me, but at that point, that's a lot of work for Waynesboro, okay? So I will not be following these. It's a verbal communication between me and my buyers at that moment in time. But my buyers are like, oh, yeah, just keep giving me the goods, and I'm just going to keep quiet, and I'm not going to worry about a single thing. Does this protect you at the end? It will, okay? Because if they own shares in your cow, and all of a sudden if your cow gets mastitis, and they're like, oh, my gosh, your milk is salty, I'm going to report you, guess what? They own stock in that cow. So that doesn't do anything for you, okay? CSAs are good, but again, they're very seasonally based on that, and your customer has to understand that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. This is my favorite part. This is very rebel, okay? I could have worn my Go Rogue Food Conference t-shirt. All right, so this is actually byproducts of the main product, which is illegal to sell in the state of Tennessee, and I'm willing to bet wherever you're at, it's still illegal as well, too, okay? Byproducts of the main product, real milk. You can sell real milk for $12 a gallon, or you can sell butter for up to $15 to $20 a pound, or you can sell yogurt for $15 a quart, or you can sell cultured buttermilk for $15 for a half pint. Or you can sell cream for almost $20 for a half pint. Or you can sell seasonal ice cream for up to $12 for 2 quarts. Which one are you making more money off of? What your customer doesn't understand is when they buy that 1 gallon of milk, they're not really doing anything but drinking it. So then they increase their milk orders, right? Then they go to 3 gallons or 4 gallons. But still at that point, they're still not able to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So when you start offering this right here, they're going to go, it's just easy for me to get my yogurt from you, and I'm just going to buy my gallon of milk, and it's good to go, okay? This is still illegal in Tennessee. We cannot sell the byproducts of the main product. It's all under the table at this point for us, okay? So then on top of it, if you're just selling pork, beef, or poultry, individual cuts, right? Individual cuts are a thing. I refuse to file USDA. I'm not doing it. They're not welcomed on my farm. So if you look at me and you're like, I would like a beautiful ribeye steak, you see that tip jar right there? That's that service for me driving that cow to that butcher to get it done. And you can tip me $24 a pound if you really want to. And if they really want it, that's what they're going to get. Okay? So you can make more money off of that than selling them a half a cow. So those grass-fed farmers, I'm sorry. But I'm going to tell you, the byproduct of your main product is essential. On top of that, you could take a whole hog to your butcher and get breakfast sausage or brats, and you're going to make more money threefold than selling a half or a whole hog to them, okay? So then on top of that, we're looking brats. Breast and quarterlets of the legs. We like quarter leg. We don't like a lot of breast meat. So if anybody wants to come to me and go, I just want breast meat, all day long. Let me give it to you. I like the quarter leg. My family is not going to go without. I'm good with that. And then on top of that, chicken feet. We always discard our chicken feet, right? But if we're homesteading, guess what? We use our chicken feet for bone broth, soup making, and everything. That is an educational process that you should be teaching every single person that buys poultry from you. Do you want the chicken feet? Oh, no, I don't want the chicken feet. That's gross. Well, let me tell you why you want the chicken feet. And soon you're going to not worry about that grossness factor of that poop that they stepped on and underneath the toenails and stuff like that, okay? So education is going to be key to making sales. Do you understand that? You just can't go, yeah, here, let me give you a chicken. No, you're going to educate them. You know what you could do with this chicken, right? Do you know how much you can do with the carcass of that chicken? Do you know what you do after this? Our job is to continue the education process to continue to increase our profit margin going forward. So we're serving God, we're still educating, we're still giving them the knowledge to move forward with what they need to do, but we still have to pay ourselves for our services, or else we cannot truly and faithfully do the things that we've been called to do. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So then we can go to the garden. Tennessee allows fermented foods, seasonal flavored kombucha as well too, and then you could do that, and canned goods. Right now, it's jams, pickles, and jellies, basically what you can sell in Tennessee. I don't sell pressure canned goods. I don't. The reason why, and I'm going to be very honest with you, and I'm going to ask you not to do it as well too, is that botulism has no smell, no flavor, no nothing, and you will lose your farm, period, if it is reported that they bought pressure canned goods from you. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't offer me pressure canned goods from your home because I won't take them either. So if you want to give me any pickles, jams, and jellies, yes, don't offer me canned stew, canned meat, canned anything. I will not consume it, and I'm very rogue. So keep that in mind, okay? All right. So the last revenue that we have on our farm, if you have space to drop an RV, a tent, whatever you can do, you need to get into this market of agrotourism, okay? Agrotourism. So we have what we call the guest house at Acorn Creek Farmstead. They can come to our farm at this moment in time, either just experience the farm noises or look at their pasture and see my beautiful cows grazing or my donkeys frolicking and my roosters crowing, or what they can do at that point is book, okay, I have it on Airbnb. It's coming up soon. They can either book it on Airbnb. It's only $35 to list this on Airbnb. Do not go through a vacation, that other one. You're hit with fees up and down. $35 is your only cut from Airbnb. Airbnb makes their money from the renter, not from you, okay? So $35. Then what we do is we do add-ons, okay? So once they book from us, I have to give them, because Airbnb does not want you to stray away from them in any way, shape, or form, I have to give them access code to get into my house, right? Then all of a sudden, oh, let me give you the access code to my house. But while you're here, let me tell you what else I can offer you. I can stock your fridge that you can take home of beautiful farm-raised meat and products and things like that. You can either enjoy it here or bring your cooler and pack it and take it home for your next journey. I am now offering them, I'm going to fall, farm-to-table goods, whether it's from my pasture or from my milk cow. I will offer them a loaf of homemade sourdough bread, and if they want real butter with it, great. And then from there, they can book a private hands-on workshop of choice, and then they could book a farm or infrastructure tour from there, okay? All it takes is a little camper that you've cleaned up. There's no leaks. There's air conditioning, things like that. Or have them pitch a tent and drop a porta potty on there for the summer, okay? This is passive income. If you are not utilizing passive income, you're missing out. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep your brain thinking. Think about what you can do to jump on the agrotourism bandwagon and do it, okay? So now, a farm girl in the making. We are not going to touch on this one really heavy, but I want you to understand that a farm girl in the making for me is now passive income. I put my due diligence, my blood, my sweat, my heart into this brand, and it's continually live and active. I had to care for my mother-in-law from basically October until she recently passed. She had brain cancer and kidney cancer. So now that we are back at breathing space, and then I get burned. And so now, soon, we're going to be back at breathing space. We will be going back. I will be going back. This is my baby, not Justin's. I will be going back to her, and she is a she, and we will be going back to her, and I will be reactivating back to my recipes, my tips, my tricks into living a more sustainable, traditional life, okay? So Farm Grow and Making's tagline, helping you achieve a more simple and traditional way of life. How much more clear can that be for you, right? So that's what your taglines are. I cannot promise you enough when you create your business cards, put your taglines on it. It could be, kiss the government goodbye, whatever the case is. That was only one. That was only one, ladies, okay? Maybe two. They're counting on me, okay? It could be anything you want it to be, all right? But it has to encompass who you are, right? It has to. And it will sell your farm faster than your farm name. I'm going to tell you that right now, okay? Who cares about Acorn Creek? But Acorn Creek offers a teaching farm that's going to teach me how to be sustainable. It's going to teach me how to clean and buy food from them that I can't grow and raise. Amen, I'm on board, okay? Remember that. Okay. So, okay, this is where it's going to warp really fast for you, okay? So, once established, you're going to reap what you sow with minimum work. Reap what you sow. Like I said, I put a lot of effort into this. It took me almost 3 years, and then when I finally said, okay, that's enough, my website is monetized. That is passive income, right? It's monetized. And then on top of that, all I have to do is just kick out a blog 2 or 3 times a month, stay top ranking on Google, because we do rank #1 in Google spots right now, and then you have to learn how to play the Google God's name, okay? That's the bad part about website work, okay? But I will tell you, Acorn Creek is not playing the Google game, because my job is just to sell a product. It will never be monetized. That is not my goal. My goal is to offer a product that really hits what it's at, okay? So when you do this, you're going to seek to monetize your website. It's not that easy. I'm not going to lie, okay? You have to have 50,000 unique visitors each month. Okay, so let's just say you're going to do it, right? You have to say, okay, I need 50,000 visitors in the month of June so I can get monetized. That's unique. That's not reoccurring individuals, okay? So it is hard, and the only way to get there is to play Google's game. That's the only way to get there. You need to maintain monthly new content. You need to update your older content, and that's how you do it. Like, I go back once a year, and if I find all my top ranking articles, I redo it. I'll put new photos. I'll rewrite it a little bit, and I may republish it. So then Google says, oh, this is fresh. This is new. Let me share it for you, okay? So playing that game is very hard, but this isn't necessary, again, for a farm website, okay? And then I freelance write. If you have a story to share, if you have information that is worthy to be out there, do not be afraid to send it to companies such as Backyard Poultry or Country Living Magazine or Goat Journal or Beekeeping or McMurray Hatchery or anybody, because if your story is unique to them and it's in good writing form, they will buy your articles from you, okay? So just keep that in mind. That is a good way to make good passive income. And just so you know, they love articles on children and homesteading. Tip, tip. Okay, so then another way to make passive income is to go ahead and create printable products. To whoever bought all my printable products yesterday, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I shared it and I made a lot of money off of it. You're going to create a printable product, right, that will teach them something. Maybe it's a workbook on how to manage poultry processing, or how canning steps, or these are great items to can from this time to this time. Let me give you 5 of my most favorite and well-known canning recipes. That is a free printable product. You put one effort in, you continue to sell it throughout the year at whatever price you think it's worth, and then guess what happens? It sells every single year as long as you continue to share it, right? Great passive income. You could do an ebook, workbook, mini recipe books, and my mini recipe books sell better than anything else, okay? They love traditional recipes from family members that have been passed down through generation to generation. Another big pro tip for you, okay? Online courses. We have 3 online courses, getting ready to jump up to more. We actually have 3 canning courses. We have a single individual hot water bath course, a pressure canning course, or for those individuals that want to break in price, they can buy the all-in-one package, which is hot water bath and canning, pressure canning, okay? And I went into that. There's video and written content, so they get to see the process and read the process and understand the process, okay? Coming soon, I have already filmed for the poultry processing workshop and a fermentation workshop coming up, all right? So, do I sell a lot of them? I do. I do, because again, it's international. There's a lot of people that want to learn, and people from England aren't going to come find me. So they're going to buy those courses, okay? So homesteading books are on the rise right now. The Farm Girl's Guide to Preserving the Harvest ranks 1% in the top books, which means that in 3.5 years of it being in print, it is the top 1%. It's very unheard of for guiding books like this to maintain that. And the reason why it's great is because I hit every facet of food preservation. It is the most unique book you're going to find. There's not been another book like that. Okay, so it teaches you everything that you need to do. If you have a book idea, pitch it to a publishing house. Pitch it. They will love it. Anything homestead related. The worst they can say is no. You got to learn rejection. If you can't learn and accept rejection, you're already going to fail, just so you know. And then you got to forgive yourself. I didn't do it right. Maybe I should have turned around and pitched this instead. Guess what? Who cares? God doesn't care. You're going to have to learn rejection and forgiveness to succeed in this life. Okay. All right, so if you're going to launch your website, again, this is the last slide that I'm going to talk about website launching for passive income, okay? You're going to register your domain name. Think about your domain name. Acorn Creek Farmstead, again, is only geared towards selling product. A farm girl in the making. Best name. 11:30 at night, I was like, what am I going to name this thing? Well, I want to be a farm girl, and I'm in the making, so hey, let's do it. Justin was like, that's a good name. I'm like, it's a little corny, and look what happened, okay? You're going to claim it on social media. All social media outlets, whether you use it or not, even your farm name, claim it on Twitter, claim it on Instagram, claim it on YouTube, whether you're going to YouTube or not, claim it on Facebook. You're going to claim it everywhere to prevent anybody from ever being able to ever use it. Does that make sense? Everywhere. And then you're going to select your hosting site. You want to have your domain name somewhere. Mine's on GoDaddy. It's not the best, but it's there on GoDaddy. And then right now, but my hosting site isn't the same as who I use. My domain name's on GoDaddy. My host is actually Big Scoots. Jessica's my tech person. It's on Big Scoots. So I pay money to have it on Big Scoots. But they're a great domain that if something happens on it, you're not tech savvy, guess what? They're going to help you fix it. Okay? So, newsletter. Please, Acorn Creek Farmstead has a newsletter. Please set yourself with a newsletter. If you're selling at the farmer's market, capture your email list. If you're handing over a chicken or your holiday turkey, hey, let me get your email address. We have more things coming. Capture that email list. Hey, neighbor, do you know anybody who wants to buy some, milk from us? Capture that email list. Capture it. There is a button that says, yeah, they signed up and I didn't just add them, so you can't go through your email list and start adding people. But if you get written permission from them, I file all that written permission in a little file box that said, yeah, see, they told me I can move this over, and that's what I did, okay? I have a pretty good email list for Acorn Creek, even though I just started selling stuff, because I'm very aggressive about capturing emails. They may never want to buy anything but a holiday turkey from me, and that is okay, because holiday turkeys sell for a lot of money. All right? So keep that in mind. You want an online register system for that. You really don't. You want cash on hand, right? But if you want a good tax deduction, you've got to file something. But then on top of it, a good register system allows what? Does anybody know? Maybe, but not really. Add-ons. Add-ons, 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 right? They may have only come to buy a quart of milk from you, but guess what? Oh my gosh, the eggs are on sale because it's spring and my chickens are going crazy. You're not going to use all those eggs. Well, I send them to my hogs. But the point of it is that you're going to get that added on at that moment in time, right? add-ons are essential to a good product and a good business, okay? So then you're going to create a Pinterest and a Canva account. I hate Pinterest with a passion, but a Canva account is essential. That's where all your marketing is going to come from. You're going to create these beautiful graphics that you're going to put on social media, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's what I can get out of my product? Absolutely, just don't burn it. And that's what you're going to get. And then you're going to need the platform. That should have been bumped up. I apologize for you're going to host that. Canva is free. Get a Canva account. It is free. You can use their basic stock photos if you're not a good photographer, and you can use it from there. Okay, next. You're going to create workshops, digital products, and for pricing farm-raised goods. This is where you're going to pay attention. This is how you're going to make your money off of your farm. Okay, go. Okay, so if you're going to set prices for hands-on workshops, and I'm going to really advocate you guys to all do hands-on workshops. And the reason why is because God has called you to do something. Once again, that's what I'm telling you, right? You've been called to do something. And something may be to turn around and go, I've been processing chickens for 15 years. Shoot, I'm an expert. Let me teach you how to do this, okay? Do it. Create a workshop. I am an excellent at fermenting, and I make these killer fermented pickles or killer kraut or whatever the case is. Do it. If you're going to turn around and you're going to go, I know how to can. Let me teach you how. Great. Be neighborly and invite your neighbors, but their friends that she could word of mouth share should be a charge, right? It's not dishonoring God to make a living on what he's asking you to do. Remember that, okay? So I'm going to stop that for a minute. Let me tell you something. We scholarship a lot of meat off of the farm. Waynesboro is a very poor area, a very heavy meth area. These children in there have zero food. We donate eggs for 3-day weekends so they can actually eat something while there's no school. Okay, I've donated hogs to individuals who cannot afford it. We butcher them, process them up, I pay for everything, and I send it to families. You need to remember your community through the act of everything that you do. Do not leave anybody behind, because then you're not doing any good. Okay? So if someone comes to me and goes, I really want to learn how to do this, but I can't afford it, guess what they get? They get scholarshiped in. Period. Okay, so set your price based on skill set, time spent creating the workshop or the curriculum and the marketing, length of time for the workshop, material costs, and are they leaving with a product? Okay, so that's how you're going to determine your price point. Depending on what you're offering, right, it could be that's how much you're doing it. Honestly, you can have 1 million followers at social media, right? Or you can have 500 followers on social media. If your skill set is just as good as that 1 million follower, the person that has 1 million followings, guess what? It's the same skill set. Do not undercut yourself because you think your self-worth is not high enough for what you're going to do. Your self-worth is high enough, okay? Let me remind you of that. Okay, are they leaving with a product? Everybody who takes my workshop leaves with a product. Whatever they canned, the chicken that they process, if they're taking our new dairy workshop, whatever the case is, they're leaving with a product. Okay, farm-raised products, pasture-raised meat, eggs, and livestock. Research the value of what your goods are worth. Don't tell me that your grass-fed cow is worth more than my grass-fed cow, because we can argue that all day long, right? So research the market value of what grass-fed beef is worth, okay? And that's what you're going to sell it for. You may turn around and go, well, I can make more money if I undercut that farmer, and at least I'm sold out, and that's what I did. But you know what? You did your community no justice by doing that. You did that farmer no justice by doing that. That is not fair, and that's cheating. And a farmer that did that to me gets an email. Let me just tell you, look, I'm selling the same thing. You know, how can I increase my price to what, decrease my price to what you're doing, right? Tell me how you are decreasing your price. Tell me how I could do the same thing. Am I offering the same value that you're offering? Usually I would get an email back with no response. Nothing, dead silence, okay? Assess your community base. That is really important. What we sell in Columbia is different than what I would offer a local family in Waynesboro. That's the difference, okay? So then you're gonna set your price based on USDA or custom cuts. Again, I don't sell anything under USDA. They're not welcomed on my farm. They don't need to know that I got butchered. They don't need to go, oh, look, there's Acorn Creek Farmstead, and she's USDA. Let's take a peek and see what's going on. They don't get to do that. Again, custom cuts with a very big tip jar, okay? So that's what we do. Again, you don't have to do that. You can be good and file everything that you want to do. That's your call. Forgiveness is more important to me to ask for than anything else. Okay, the product being offered, again, 21 million hog farmers in Waynesboro, Tennessee, okay? So that's not my customer. My customer is Columbia and up. That's my customer base. Unless someone comes to me and says, hey, can I just buy this? It's a holiday for my family, and the answer is always yes from Waynesboro and the surrounding areas. You have to know where I live, okay? The market value, do not undersell your product to make a buck. You want to talk about dishonoring? Do not do it. That farmer worked just as hard as you did. Really. Do not undersell your product to make a buck. Run sales if you really need to. That's how you do it. So when spring comes and those 100 layers that you may have is like kicking full production and you've got a lot of eggs to sell, that's when you can run a sale. Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get the next one half off. Whatever the case is. That's how you're going to handle your surplus. Not sell it for 3 times shorter. We're going to sell it at a sale price, and that's how you can get through it. Does that make sense? Okay, so offer byproducts of the main product. That is your comfort level for how rogue you wish to go. Byproducts of the main product. You may be like, here, under the table, like here, you can buy this, let me pass it back to you, or you can be like me, hey, I got butter, and it's really good, it's from a grass-fed cow, and this is what I'm selling it for. I probably may hike my butter cost a little bit higher because I really don't want to sell you my butter because I want to keep all my butter to myself, but I'm offering it, right, to somebody as a service. Or they may go, I just want yogurt or buttermilk, because in the holidays they want cream because they want real whipping cream, but they still need milk to drink. That's fine with me. I got hogs. My hogs can get the skim of whatever they want, right? Okay. Okay. I don't know why this slide is sitting here, but we're going to do it anyways. Okay, online product. Research the value of a similar product. Again, whether it's not you're creating a printable product or if you're creating something that you want to sell like a canning course or whatever the case is, okay? And then you're going to set your price based on your skill set, time, creating the ebook. Is this a duplicate? Okay, let's skip that then. Sorry. Okay, I don't know why this is blurry, but this is an example of one of my workbooks, okay? This is the Pantry Organization Workbook. Do you know how many people come into this lives and they don't understand what shopping from your larder is really like, okay? They need that guidance. There was nobody to teach them how to do this, so they need that guidance to understand that you have got to go into your cold storage or your larder or your basement or your pantry every single week, inventory what you have, and create your meal plans based on that. It's not the other way around. It's not, oh, today I want to eat this. Let me just go get everything. Before you know it, you're out of all the things that you just ate, and you're stuck with things that you haven't ate. So this workbook actually teaches you how to, number one, go through your larder, inventory it, create your meal plans based on that. Then everything from my basement comes up to my upstairs kitchen refrigerator, and that's how I create my meals. Okay, I have zero waste at the end of the season because I've eaten everything that I have preserved and put into my freezers. Does that make sense? So a workbook like this does it. It's actually a 50-page workbook. It has tips and recipes at the same time. So those are how you can create it. This is not a mini workbook. This is a really bigger project. So the minier ones are smaller versions of this, and if you want to start, do that. Okay. This is one of my favorite pictures. This was taken about 3 years ago. So you have Rory Feek, Joe Salatin, me, and Amy Fuel, founder of Homesteaders of America. This was a brainstorming, sit down, let's figure out what the hay is going on and what we can do, and maybe we can grow this a little bit more. Could HOA grow it a little bit more? Could Rory's conference grow it a little bit more? Whatever the case was. Joel was always telling a joke about going rogue because we processed chickens here and now we're all going to eat it, right? And all I can think of, well, when's supper because I'm really hungry. So here's the thing about marketing. You need good marketing. Don't chintz on it. Create good, clear marketing. Social media is essential. I know a lot of people hate social media, but in truth, it's the beast that has to be tamed. You cannot run a successful business on, let me rephrase that. You cannot run a new successful business on word of mouth alone, period. You have to have that share across social media. Instagram is the now number one presence on social media. Facebook is still number 2. Twitter actually follows behind Instagram. I don't understand TikTok, so I can't even label that for you, and I don't understand Snapchat, okay? But Instagram is a great place for you to start and to do it like that. Your newsletter as well, too. Word of mouth is essential. So that customer that bought that chicken from you, the next time she picks up chicken, you're gonna go, hey, how was that chicken? Great. Do you know anybody else who might be interested in, conversation is key. Justin is not the salesperson of the farm, let me just tell you, because he's like, here's your chicken. Goodbye. Get off my property. Go ahead, right? So my face is out there, and I'm like, hey, I love you. Thank you for buying food from us. What else can I do from you? And Justin's like, you took too long. They're still here. Your workshop's over like 30 minutes ago. We got to get back to farming, kind of thing like that, okay? So this is new to me, affiliates. Find people who will represent your farm. And I do this with a farm girl in the making. I have not done this on Acorn Creek Farmstead yet. Affiliates will drive your business through and through. That's as easy as, did you like my milk? How about if I give you some butter that I really don't want to share with other people, and you can still buy my milk, but I'll give you 2 pounds of butter. Go ahead and just bring me people. And you're like, yes, I want all that milk, so I'm going to take your butter. That's an affiliate. You don't have to pay them. You're bartering, and you're trading, and you're talking, and you're sharing, and you're going back to a traditional life, period, right? The barter system is a godsend, okay? This is one of our marketings for our holiday turkeys. Beautiful holiday turkey, just so you know, that is a stock photo because I didn't have any turkeys right then and there, and I'm actually a very good photographer. But that is a stock photo, and it just basically says, and this is a social media share, it just says, reserve your 2023 holiday turkey, pre-order now, and it's pasture-raised, non-GMO, whole grain fed with our website. But on Instagram, you can actually link your website to a story to make it easier for them. They're like, oh, it's right here. Click, okay? So clear message, clear font. None of that scripty things that I really love so much that my team hates me to use, okay? This is a clear message. Pre-order now. So in about another 2 months, it's going to be turkeys are limited. Okay? So that's how you're going to do that. Clear photo. Look at that turkey that you could put on your table. It's not my turkey, but look at that turkey you can have on your table. Okay? Next one. So basically, this one here is my workshops. I have multiple images of what my workshops offer. This is the one that is the most popular, where I get most sales from, because it basically tells you what the workshop is, a short description, a couple of bullet points on what you're going to learn, and then a little additional information. This one books me as much as, where's Christina? As much as all the other ones are beautiful graphics, this one books my workshops, okay? This one, make sure it's a clear, distinctive message for what you're going to offer. Okay, it just basically says, it's the poultry, my logo on top. It says poultry processing workshop. If you are ready to take on raising your own meat, allow us to help you get there. In this hands-on workshop, you will learn, select the best chicken breed to raise for meat, choose your feed option, how to quickly dispatch and package for the freezer, and more. Okay? Additional birds are available for purchase on the day of the workshop. Space is limited for all hands-on workshops offered. Basically, simple, right? Oh, sorry, let me get out of your way. Okay, make yourself and your homestead seen. Men, I know this is more you guys where you're like, no, you know who I am, my government knows who I am. I don't need them tromping their little feet onto my farm. But that's me and Justin at the same time, just so you know. But the point of it is if you do not make your property and yourself known, they don't know the farmer or the teacher who they're learning from. You have got to put yourself out there, even if it's going to your commissioner's council meeting, which I hate to do, but I still go because I want to know what my commissioner is up to, right? I want to know if he's going to be like, we need to start watching these farms that are doing business or blocking traffic on chick days or whatever the case is. I want to know ahead of time what they're thinking or what's on the agenda going forward. So Justin and I intentionally joined organizations in our town to be spies on what they want to do with the town for us, but to also be actively involved. Like one of my organizations that I did join was a downtown commission, and basically it's learning how to draw individuals, teaching individuals how to come to Waynesboro so we can actually increase chances for the small business there to earn money, okay? But the other one's partly being nosy because I want to know what my town's doing. All right, so share your journey. Always share your journey. Hey, you know what? We just got these turkeys. It's really hot, so I think what we're going to do is put them in shade for a little while and then move them in the evening, and it's going to be easier for them. Get on social media and do simple things like that. Community Facebook groups, create your own private Facebook group if you want to. I don't have one at all. Create a private sales social media account or farm sales. I don't have one of those because I really don't care. I put myself out there, and that's the reason why, okay? And then you're going to place flyers wherever you want to place them. Don't be embarrassed. Go down to Tractor Supply, pin it. Go down to your local co-op, pin it. Go down to your local grocery store, pin it. Get your phone number, give them your email address, whatever the case. Let them pull that little tab that they're going to go, hey, what was that for? And then they're going to look, and they're going to go, oh, yeah, that's right, okay? That's what you want to do. These are beginning free steps to get you to where you need to be as you're building your social media presence, so they'll buy your goods, okay? Utilize hashtags. They are a thing. They are a thing. Do not even try to dip into the $1 million hashtags because you won't get seen, okay? Go in and find little hashtags. Use Tennessee or wherever you're at the back because there are plenty of places that have state hashtags that you really want to market in, okay? And then really reach out to your homeschooling co-ops because guess what? Those moms still are going to buy your stuff too, not just take workshops from there. Okay. Affiliated programs and businesses and partners. Okay, listen, this is going to be really fast, okay? Affiliated programs will give you you're going to offer a discount on the product, free product, or a cash payment, okay? So that's basically what you have, in short. Barter and trade is key and essential, but some people just want hard code cash. For a farm growing and making, we do a commission-based affiliate program because most of them are around the world for us, whereas Acorn Creek said it's a trade and barter system that we're going to be setting up. All right? And then on top of that, you're going to partner with... Stop being so proud that you don't want to partner with somebody else. Let me tell you, you will sell 3 times more stuff if you have a partner that will turn around and do things with you, right? My friend Janelle right there is a great example of that. She is from the Haven Homestead. You can actually look her up on social media as well, too. Janelle and I have partnered together. I do not want to be a farmer. I am not a farmer. I am a teacher that sells all of her farm wares. Okay, let me back up. And I think I missed this in a slide. We have 0 cost on our farm. 0 cost. So that means that I raise enough meat to feed my family by selling my extras that covers my feed bill and my labor for doing my work. So I pay myself to feed myself and somebody else through the sales of my product, and my feed cost is 150%, including the gas and the time it takes me to go pick up my feed, which is an hour away. That is my end goal. You may want to farm full-time, so you're, number one, covering your feed bill and then making extra money on top of that, right? But that's not my job. My job is to teach first, so I had to think of a way to come out with a 0 expense on my farm. And that only way to do that was to sell my product out the door, where then at the end of the day, when I balance my books, I have 0 expense with an income. Okay? 0 expense with an income. If you guys are looking to do workshops on that, you want to balance it equal ways, you can do it. You can do it. You have to learn to be creative in that process, okay? So when you partner with another farm, you've got to make sure you're finding someone with like-minded values, and you've got to understand that there may come a time that they may pull away or you're going to pull away, but that's okay because you've created this bridge that you may rekindle and come back for holiday turkeys, right? So that's fine with that. You're going to assist in selling the products with you. And so let's just say Janelle is, because I do so much elsewhere, Janelle is the spokesperson for our organization, basically, in a sense, and she's really good at it. She comes back and she goes, Ann, we need 15 chickens out the door. Do you have it? The answer is either yes or no. She goes, we need 10 dozen eggs to go out the door. Do I have it? Yes or no. She's doing all the milk right now because Rosemary just calved, right? So that's how we do it. She communicates with extra, is Angela in here? So there's one more organization that I want you to try to stem up in your community. Now listen to this. You need to find, I'm in Columbia. Janelle and I don't really, we drive, we get here, we do what we need to do, right? But we have a friend who's now offered up her little homestead to be our drop center. And she is excited and can do this, and she's reached her community. So all we have to do now is, Angela, this is what we have. And she's like, I'm on it. She puts it out there for us, and then she sells it because she knows more people in Columbia than we do, right? And then we drop off to her. We meet at her place. If we want to stay, we stay. If we don't want to stay, we just put everything in the fridge, and we run out of Dodge. You need to find that third magical partner, right? That one that says, I'm never going to do this, or I'm going to do it on a small scale, but let me help you and support you because I know what you're doing is passionate. That's okay. Find your drop centers. Find them. Find your drop centers. Find the person that will say, let them come to my farm because guess what? You're not doing fermented goods, but I am, but I'll be a drop center for you, right? That's how you do it. You cannot do this alone. And if you think you do, you're like Joe Salatin, the ballerina farmer, Jill Whitner, all those people who are selling out and doing whatever they're doing that already have the audience to do that. I don't come near their audience, and I'm okay with that. But find that individual, and if you have to and you're driving to locations, you can divide delivery schedules on top of that, okay? Next. All right. Hands-on private workshops. Listen. This is what we offer: poultry processing, hot water bath canning, pressure canning, fermentation, farmhouse sourdough, herbal workshops, which I contract out. I don't do herbalism. I believe that every village has a medicine woman. I am not that person. I'd be like, I think you should chew this up and take this. So I don't teach those. But I contract individuals to teach this workshop for me, okay? And it's a hit. I hated making sourdough, so I found a good friend that does a great job doing it. And so she teaches those workshops for me, okay? And I sit in every single one of them, and I learn something new all the time. Rabbit processing, okay? Pasture-raised meat, we offer chicken, hog, and I don't offer lamb. I don't offer lamb. Eggs, I don't know why I put lamb. Chicken, it should have been eggs. Sorry, or milk. Okay, eggs from free-range hens, real milk, cows and goats, and byproducts of the main product, okay? Again, that is the moneymaker right there. That is your moneymaker. Okay, next one. What's new and upcoming? Okay, so we do all. Who doesn't have a dairy cow yet? Who wants a dairy cow? Guess what? So did I. I want a dairy cow so bad. And though I was taught by Katie Milhorn of Milhorn Farmstead in Idaho, I spent a week on her farm with her. She taught me everything that I needed to know. It didn't make a difference when I brought Rosemary home. I kind of cringed, I drew myself back, and I panicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this cow other than love her, this 1,500-pound puppy cow, and so who actually loves my husband more than she loves me. So we'll just say that. So this is the next workshop. It launches in August, okay? So if you are serious about really want to maximize and learn how to have a dairy cow, either before you get it or now that you have one getting ready to go into milk, this is the workshop for you. There is a coupon code. It's called the Early Bird Special. It is in August. I know that's a lot earlier for you guys to travel coming here and whatnot, but I'm going to tell you, this is your A to Z to what you need to do to owning a dairy cow. So do you see where I went? I went from basic homesteading skills that you would need to do independently on your own to a bigger master 2-day extensive workshop, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on both days. You get breakfast and you get lunch, okay? So this is where the next biggest vision goes. Processing hogs, a great workshop to sell on that one too. But if you're just like, here, let me show you how to process this hog, great. Are you going to show me how to cut it? Are you going to show me how to render lard? Are you going to show me what to do with the trotters? Are you going to show me how to eat the snout, the ears, the heart, and the tongue, then at that point, you haven't done justice to me. You need to give me the big package, okay? So this is the big package. This is something that I partner with Janelle Anderson with, and so I'm going to tell you, this is all the way down to pasture health care as well, too. Okay, so this is coming up. This is in August. The last slide is, I hope it's the last slide because I'm hot. That's me. My friend Nina, I hope she's here, took this photo of me at HOA last year. This is my book, The Farm Girl's Guide to Preserving the Harvest, and it's basically, it's going to give you food freedom, okay? When I wrote that book, I had to understand the science and the traditional and how to marry both safely, because the National Center for Home Foods Preservation lies to you. And then you have these scientific canners that are like, no, they said you can't do that. No, that's not what they said. They said that you can't can celery because they haven't tested it yet. It doesn't mean you can't can celery. They just haven't tested that process yet. So what does Ann do? Ann cans celery. I know that celery is a soft water product, so if I cut it at 1 inch and I can it at the same processing time as a pepper would, which is the highest level for certain vegetables, I ran it through. They're afraid that it's going to turn to mush in there, which prevents the heat from penetrating into the jar in order to kill the possible risk of botulism in your jar. So Ann says, let's see. So I did. I grew celery. I canned it. There was enough space in there that the heat properly penetrated through it, and we eat celery. Canned celery that I use for chicken salad sandwiches. After I've made some soup, I will add it in there for additional flavors and stews at the end of the cooking process, because celery doesn't preserve well other than drying it. So why would I grow celery if I can only dry it at that point? Okay? So be confident in your journey to owning your food source and controlling your food source. Only 3 times, controlling your food source so your government does not. Okay? So with that said, thank you. Only 3 times. I think that's a record. But everybody read the shirt, trust God, not government, okay? So that's 4 times. All right. So unfortunately, we sold out of all of our books here, but McMurray Hatchery is taking orders at their tent. Amazon is sold out. I don't carry my books. It's a lot of work to go to the post office and mail them. So if you do want a copy of the book right now, run over to McMurray's. I have Cassidy right here who's going to help you guys out and get that book ordered, and they were going to send it to you as soon as the team gets back. All right, that's it, you guys. Go forth and conquer.